Hey everybody, welcome to Power Connection Broadcast. My name is Bob Eulmer. I'm here with Amber Walker.
Hi, everyone.
Very excited to have her here today on a special Valentine's Day special. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. If you don't know me very well, you'll know that I love love, and so I love to talk about love. So let's love doing this. And so I'm really excited about having you guys here. So we're going to talk about from engagement proposals to powerful events. And it's totally in line with what we're talking about for Valentine's Day. Now, before we get in and let's talk some logistics, I'm here normally for the Power Connection broadcast every on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays around 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we want you to be involved, which means we want you to ask questions. We want you to comment below. Let us know where you're from. Are you from North America, South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, Antarctica? Let us know where you're from, where you're coming in from. And then also say hello to people. Look, Dietrich said hello, that's great. And Joseph saying hello from Singapore. AJ's here, Chris is here. Man, this is awesome. So, Chris is like, hey, that's clickbait. Yeah, well, yeah, we're trying to get people to listen to our video stream, which is great. So, and then also ask questions. Do you have questions about engagement proposals? How to put together a great event. She's a fantastic event planner, and she's going to talk a bit more about that. So you can ask any question about putting together a great event, putting together a great proposal. And if you want to talk about love, hey, you can ask questions about love too. We'll answer those questions too. Marsha's here too. Wow, there's a lot of people coming. That's good. So ask questions, and then if you like the content, share your own page, tag people, ask them to join the conversation. We'd love to have you join. And if you really like what you're hearing, you can like, clap, heart, light bulb, smiley face, all that kind of stuff, and just share the love today. So this is great, Chris, and this is great. So I'm excited to see people. So let's start off first off by tell me everyone about yourself, Amber. Just sharing about who you are and what you're doing, and then we'll get to the topic, okay?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO and lead planner at Amber Walker Events, and I'm primarily located in Toronto. However, I have expanded to California. I have a new office in California. So I'm international, and so I plan proposals, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on today because it's Valentine's Day and it's the day of love. But I also plan corporate events, product launches, every type of corporate event you can think of. And I kind of started getting into proposals just because my corporate clients didn't have time for their personal events as well as their business events. So it seemed like a perfect natural progression, and it kind of just took off.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And these people so when it comes to them, it's not just engagement proposals. It's also planning Valentine's stuff as well, or?
Absolutely. We do everything. Anything you need planned, we can take care of that. Your anniversary, your Valentine's Day. If you need us to remind you that your Valentine's Day is coming up or your anniversary is coming up, we can do that too.
It's interesting. So give me an example of something you might plan when it comes to an engagement proposal. Like what would go into planning, and tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so typically I get reached out to by a guy who kind of has a general idea of what they might like or what she might like, whether it be a beach proposal or they're outdoorsy or indoor with a view. And then we kind of go from there. We ask what your budget might be, and then we kind of just streamline. And we will come up with a full decor vision. 3 different unique venues that kind of go with what you're telling me, whether that be outdoors or indoors. And then we come and send you basically a customized proposal, and with option A, option B, option C, and you say, Amber, okay, I like option C, and we take care of everything from there.
Okay. Give me some examples of like what's an example of what someone might do?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm doing a proposal today, and we are setting up a yurt in the backyard of a house, and we are covering the whole backyard with twinkle lights and candles and roses, and we're heating it so that way they can kind of have a little picnic and champagne when they come home at the end of their Valentine's Day. Okay. And we're also kind of making it a very smart proposal where we are making that he can control the twinkle lights and all the lighting from his phone. Wow. So that he feels like, bam,
twinkle,
twink, and she's surprised. It's gonna be really amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't take time to do that. And, I'll admit, I love love, but this morning I said, Happy Valentine's Day to my wife. And then she's like, so what are we doing? I'm like, I haven't planned anything. And she doesn't plan anything either because she doesn't do that either. So we're like, well, what do we do? I guess we'll meet for lunch and how much lunch. So we'll figure that out.
I think you do.
Well, we've been married 18 years, so at this point.
Okay, romance cannot be dead after 18 years. You got to keep the romance going.
No, for sure. But, it's harder. I mean, it's harder when you have kids and it's busy. But I totally understand the importance of it. I think that's really great to take the time to do that kind of stuff. I'm a big believer in love languages. If you don't know what those things are, read about them. My love language, one of my love languages is acts of service. So, I'll make a nice dinner. I think that's really important. Whereas my wife, she doesn't do that. Her type of love language is quality time. So she'll say, let's go rent a bed and breakfast, right? That type of thing. And that's kind of how we figure out what works for each other. So that's kind of cool.
That's very nice.
Do you know what your love language is?
Yes.
Okay.
I like quality time.
Quality time, okay.
And I like basically being told,
the words of affirmation.
I like those are my two top. Those are my two top ones.
Okay, yeah. And I think I have three. I mean, acts of service is one. The other one is words. I like words too. Yeah. And the other one is touch, physical touch. Like I'm a hugger and things like that. So that's really fun for me. And actually, what's funny is the one that I'm not a big one are gifts. So if someone gives me like, here's a necklace, or here's a new shirt. I'm like,
oh, cool, thanks.
Like,
guys are not usually too much into gifts, I find.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. And actually, what's interesting too when it comes to love, a really interesting thing is that because I like acts of service, and it's not high on my wife's list. I would make her dinner. She's like, oh, thanks. But I put a lot of work into it, right?
You put a lot of love into it.
Right, and so she didn't really get it, and so I was like, oh, that's not good. And then for her, she's like quality time. She's like, let's go rent a hotel or do a bed and breakfast. I'm like, why don't we just stay in and do it here? We have our own place. And I didn't get it, right? I didn't get the whole quality time thing. And so we had this discussion to figure this out. And then I realized, okay, you know what? There's a disconnect here because we didn't feel the love or we were feeling things a little differently. And so it became difficult for us. So what we realized is that number one, when it's her birthday, for example, I plan a hike with our family because I know she has quality time. And what she does for me now is she'll actually make me tea without me asking because that's an act of service. It's a small thing, but I love it. I just love it. I feel love. So it's kind of cool to have that understanding about each other. So it's kind of cool. So we're here with Amber Walker talking about event planning and engagement proposals. Things like that. If you are, Patty is joining us, Sriya's here, Balaji's here, a lot of people are joining us, right? So if you have questions around engagement proposals, event planning, or relationships, let us know because again, we want to engage you and leverage Amber's fantastic insights, her insights and advice. So let's actually talk a bit more into the engagement proposal. So what are some of the things that when it comes to proposals, what are the things you have to think about in order to make it a success?
Well, I think you have to think about what she might want and who she is as a person. I always kind of ask, what is your relationship like?
Right.
I think that's important. And then has she mentioned anything to you?
Right.
I mean, women do kind of subtly drop hints in there. Men are a little bit oblivious, but maybe just think about it. Has she dropped any hints to you? And then you really just have to think about how you want to say what you want to say, right? Like think about what you want to say in that moment because you're never going to get a chance to redo it. Right. Actually, I'm lying to you. I had a client redo his proposal the day before his wedding.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because he felt he flopped it the first time?
Because his fiance told him he flopped it. So that is why I exist. And then also something that people don't think about, ensure that she has her nails done before you pop the question. Yeah. She's going to be very angry if her nails don't look good and you just put on a pretty, ring and she wants to get pictures. People don't think this is important, but it is important.
Well, and I've seen a lot of photos on like Facebook and Instagram where there's a photo, they're way over there and clearly there's a camera set up way back there. So
yes, photographer. I always have a photographer and I include that with every single one of my photos.
Got it.
Yeah. It's all about the Instagrammable moment in 2020.
Right. And when it comes to like, the speech and stuff, I mean, so do you recommend people memorize kind of a short little thing or whether they practice a little bit?
I personally.
Because I'm a professional speaker, right? So, maybe I should work with you to teach some people how to nail their speech, whether it's 30 seconds,
Well, I think it's better for it to come from the heart.
Yeah.
However, I have kind of like had a client write out what he wanted to say,
Yeah.
and I have edited it. But I think that when you don't speak from the heart, you're going to stumble over your words.
Okay.
Maybe getting a general idea and writing that down, what you want to touch upon, and then make sure you kind of touch upon those points. Like speech is hard for a lot of people. Like,
Right.
I think you're a pretty organic speaker, aren't you?
Yeah. Freestyle.
You're freestyle.
Yeah.
So I think, maybe you have to teach them how to freestyle.
Well, I mean, the key to this is preparation is always very helpful. So I think you can memorize a speech. Again, it doesn't have to be a really long speech, right? I mean, if you look at most proposals where they speak, they're not going to talk for 30 minutes. It's going to be probably under 30 minutes. It's going to be very short and sweet. 30 seconds to a minute to 3 minutes, maybe max.
Right.
That's what it will be. So it's very easy to, and practice makes perfect. So the more they practice, the more they rehearse, the better off you're going to be.
Right.
The other way for people who want to freestyle is you just have key points that you practice with, right? So that could work well. So yeah, that just reminds me, engagement proposal speeches. Are there any sort of like ones that you see like? I was thinking about a movie where there's a great engagement proposal. Are there ones that you like that kind of inspire? Oh, that's such a cool idea that you saw like on a movie.
Proposal.
Yeah.
Not particularly. I think I do it best.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes we find inspiration in the creative art forms that are out there. That's why I kind of brought that up. I had one in mind actually. It was a movie with Julia Roberts and Ed Harris. I think it was called Step On.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, and then it had this engagement like they say, CMR romantic, right? So I'm just telling you. And he had like this string, and so the string, he talked about the threads of their lives intertwining together. And then this ring came down the strings, and I want ours to be together now. And I was like, oh, it's so cool.
That's very artistic.
It was very
artistic.
Very romantic. Yeah, I love it. It's kind of cool. So I thought that was a good one. Okay, so going back to, so what are some things that when proposals are done that are done wrong, like you've seen where they make a mistake or they're challenged?
I think it's, not putting any thought or care into the proposal.
Right. Yes.
I mean, doing a proposal, like on a TV commercial is not, romantic.
Yeah,
I mean, I know some people are like, well, I want to do it at home, where our live is. And I'm like, I get that, but you got to put some care and thought into it, where it just feels that like it was a last minute decision. And that doesn't feel nice for a woman. I think, something that's important is, getting a photographer, like I said.
Right.
I think women are really wanting to capture that moment and that face because you're never going to get that moment again.
Right.
I think that's very important, and that's why I have, once again, a job, because everyone wants that Instagrammable moment. And I'm not just saying that. If you go on, there is millions of Instagram pages, and they're for how he asked. How he asked. Right. And so I can tell my friends, so I can share it with my mom. That's the moment. And guys don't really care about that as much as a woman does.
Now, what about what if they come back with like something that you think is an absolute horrible idea? How do you coach the client and be like, okay, 180, let's not do that. Have you had to do that? Horrible idea.
That's a good question. Well, knock on wood, I have clients that usually do listen to me, and they're not offended by if I say, well, I love that idea, but where we can kind of segment this too.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like saying it in the nicest way possible. And I said, to be honest, the clients that contact me, they have usually no idea what they want. So they're like super open and so grateful for my experience, which is great. And men are just not planners, and that's why they contact me. Except for you, Bob. You're a planner.
Thank you. Amen. Right. But what I will tell you though is that but when I think of CEOs, I think of people who are firm and stubborn and set in their ways, and they have this. I want to go, and I want to go.
Sure.
So what if they actually are a firm, stubborn, CEO type dude, and they want to go a way that you don't think is the best way, but that's what they want. You still have to. How's that work in terms of client? Do you still have to deliver that, or what do you do?
Well, if it was,
I'm here asking tough questions.
These are tough questions. Well, it was that case where he's like, Amber, this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is non-negotiable. I would deliver it in the best way I know how. But in a realistic standpoint, most people listen to me.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing is, you know, they might be a CEO of a tech company. You do that best.
Yeah.
I do this best.
No,
So that's the truth. And I would never say I would not do that because I'm the person that makes that happen. If he really, really, really wanted that to happen, I would do it in the best way I know how.
Yeah.
That answers it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. I mean, I've been with clients as a speaker where they want something specific way, and I'm like, this is not going to resonate with your audience, and I don't think it's the way to go. But then at the end of the day, when they want this way, as long as I warn them about the issues and risks around it,
I think that.
then I feel better.
Yeah.
I told you, and then when we go to the event, I do it the best way I can. And if it doesn't go the way they want, well, it's based on what you had said, right? And so that's the.
I've had that experience, I think, more with corporate events.
Right.
Than proposals. Corporate events, I say, in my professional opinion, this is not the right road to go. But in the end of the day, sometimes they do decide to do that anyway.
Okay.
And then I've seen it kind of not blow up, but I've seen it kind of be, yeah, you were kind of right. And I'm like, you know what? We learn from back then. We live and we learn.
Right. That's it. And so let's transition now to I'm here with Amber Walker talking about from beautiful engagements all the way to powerful events. So now you've done the engagement proposal, it's gone well, the event's done well. So now it's time to plan the powerful event. So what are some of your thoughts on planning these powerful events?
Thoughts on my powerful events. Be more specific with me. What do you mean?
Sorry. So I mean, well, because we're trying to do a transition from now. We're going to focus just on a wedding event.
Well, I don't do per se weddings. I do corporate events.
Okay. So we're going to segue. So you focus it. So for Valentine's Day, we focus on the proposal. But now we're going to segue into just powerful events. So now someone wants to plan a really strong, powerful corporate event, right? So maybe take us through some of the kind of timelines and some of the things to consider, and what's some advice in making them as powerful as we want them to be.
Sure. Okay. Timelines, it can be anywhere between a week to a year.
Yeah.
And more and more these days, I'm getting contacted with people that don't have, long timelines for me because budgets are coming and they don't know if they're going to have to spend for their events. And it really depends on what type of event it is to make it high impact. But I think, having a really high social media presence is really important, especially if you're like building a product launch with exposure. I think, really having a good place of decor that themes to whatever event that, is. And I think understanding the business goals at the end of the day is really important. What do you want to get out of this event at the end of the day? Because, my goal is not just to plan a pretty party, is to get them a return on their investment.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, when it comes again to return on investment, how can you get a return on investment on an event? How do you measure that?
Well, how you measure it is, are you getting clients after? And like most people that are planning corporate events, and that's not everyone, but they're trying to build a client base, or they're trying to build exposure for their brand or their product.
Right.
And so are they getting clients after this event that they invited people? I did an event about a couple years ago, and it was for about 400 people. Okay. And they invited all of their interior designers and home builders and construction workers that they wanted to build relationships with. And I knew that they were, happy and they got a return on their investment because they told me. They told me they had all those people coming back. They had all those people wanting to buy product from them and building those relationships with them. I keep that direct communication with my clients, but I knew that if the client was, the attendees were having a good experience and having exposure to their product, they weren't going to get a return on their investment. I knew that, if people are having a bad time at the event, they are not going to, because people are going to be in and they're going to be out. But when people stay at an event from 6 to 11 o'clock and an event that has product in it, they're going to look at the product.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I find events, and again, you're focused on these corporate events. So, what are the different types of corporate events that you would do? What are some examples?
So I would do corporate meetings for companies that are for employees within the company.
Right.
Corporate meetings, product launches,
Right.
grand openings. Different, just kind of anything within under the company realm. But I don't really have a focus of what type of companies I work with. I work with anybody from tech companies, property management companies, sports bar companies, everything under the sun. I am all over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I think that events are always important to have someone to run. Let's talk about that. Why is it important to bring someone to organize your event for you?
Sorry, repeat that?
Oh, so why is it important to bring someone? Because sometimes they're like, let's just let the team run it, or let's let the admin run it. But why should they bring someone like you? What do you bring to the table that makes it better than everybody else?
Well, I mean,
this is the part where I'm looking you to sell yourself, which we're doing for sure. And again, you should check out our website at
AmberWalkerEvents.com.
Boom. So talk about why it's so important to bring in an event plan.
Well, first of all, I have vendor contacts that get you better, price points than everybody else. Whether it be venues, I also negotiate like nobody you've ever seen before. I recently had a client that was ready to sign with a hotel. I said, whoa, hold on, I gotta look at this contract first. And I took several hotels and I pinned them across each other and I saved them $80,000.
Wow.
So that paid for my fee within the first couple of days.
Nice.
So, it's really things like that people don't have the experience / they don't have the time. Emins are busy. They should not have to be doing events. They have a lot to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a great insight. And we have a question. Good. You know what? Ask us questions, please, because you want to learn how to do a good proposal. You want to learn how to love. You want to know how to put together a powerful event for your company. This is where you're going to ask Amber, because she's got the goods. And I can tell you, like, as a personal experience, I worked with her before. So she helped me with my DYPD conference a few years back. And what I can tell you is that I was extremely impressed, particularly by her professionalism. I'm really big on professionalism. I'm really big on responsiveness. I'm really big on being calm amidst the chaos and being nice amidst the chaos. That's how I roll. And so she's a lot like me in that area. I worked with other people who are just frantic, and it's like, okay, you're just stressing me out. Like, I don't need that. But you were very calm. Cool and collected, man. Like cucumber, baby. That's how I roll too. Right? So I like that about her, and so I think she was fantastic that way. Okay, we have two more. And Barsha asked a question too, because Barsha is also doing events with locals on that. That's great. So Brenda says, question: are you using LinkedIn events? I'm not sure what that means, Brenda. Do you mean like planning events for LinkedIn, or planning LinkedIn locals, or using the LinkedIn events feature? It's a bit vague. I'm not sure whether it's for me or for you, but do you have any insight on this, or?
I'm not sure, but just Brenda, if you're still here, just kind of go in a little bit more detail what you mean, and we're happy to answer that question for you.
Yeah, and the only thing I can say to this one is that LinkedIn now has events. Like, how you have a Facebook event?
Yes.
So LinkedIn now has an event feature where you can set up an event on LinkedIn.
Oh.
So that's a new thing that I've just tried. I can tell you that I just tried it for an event coming up on February 26th. On February 26th, the next Toronto LinkedIn local event is on diversity, inclusion, and senior ranks. And it's happening in Toronto, so you can check that out. And then there is a LinkedIn event invite for that. And what I can tell you is it's actually doing quite well in terms of people responding. You know how like people respond to Facebook events and 100 people say we're going and then 20 show up?
Right.
It's terrible, but on LinkedIn it's way better. The traction between people who say they're going and ones that have actually bought tickets is way higher.
Do you think it's because of the professionalism of the people?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's because the platform is more professional. So if they say they're going to go, they are probably going to go. And what I found is the amount of people that said yes to going, the amount of people who bought tickets, the ratio is significantly higher, probably like 50%.
Yeah.
Versus like, 10, 20%.
Mhm.
So that's actually quite good. So it's pretty good that way. Okay. So Amber, Brandon says LinkedIn has this feature where you can post an event to share on LinkedIn. It's new feature, not everyone has it. Yeah. So that's what I just talked about.
Wow, Bob, you're on it.
Good. I'm glad we figured that out. Yeah. So I mean, if you haven't used that, this is actually a pretty good thing to tell your clients to start using. It's actually pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll say about the LinkedIn events, and I'll probably do a broadcast on it, which is really good. One of the things I like about it too is what I do to invite people is I pick the first connection, the location Toronto, and then I pick the industry that I want, and then I just scroll to see who are the ones that I really want. It's really easy for me to target the people I want.
Yeah.
And that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a cool way to do it. Okay, so Barsha has a question, which is, hi Amber, my question to you is, have you ever managed more than one event at a time? If so, how do you ensure the events are being successful?
That's a great question.
Great question, Barsha.
I like it. Okay. I frequently plan
I'm sure you do.
at
I'm sure
one
you
time.
do.
And so it's really just about planning your time accordingly, and making sure that you're on top of the things going through. I'm like a to-do list person, so it's like to-do list. All right, X client, B client, C client. What do I have to do to ensure they are successful? And if I'm managing an event on site 2 days, like 2 events on the same day, once again, it's time management. Yes, absolutely. I have recently did an event in November where I did 3 events in 2 days for one client. And so they had basically a corporate meeting in the morning from 8 to 5, and the Christmas party was from 6 to 11. And so obviously I have to design the decor and everything for the holiday party, but the corporate meeting is all logistic. And so from basically the morning to 2 o'clock, I was at the corporate meeting, and from 2 to the evening, I was at the holiday party. And so you really just have to have a really good staff. I didn't leave them high and dry for logistics. I have a fabulous assistant that I trained under me, and he took care of things when I left.
Right.
And I ensured that the venues were also really close by, about 10 minutes away from each other. So I took about 6 Ubers that day to check on everything, because I also want to make sure everything has my touch on just everything gets across. But yeah, just planning your time accordingly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that it's in managing multiple projects too. So if you have multiple projects, whether they're events or they're speaking gigs or even just, clients that you're servicing, I mean, building the lead time, planning, and making sure you have a clear task list on the phones. Yeah, I mean, I think people struggle with that because they have trouble with managing multiple deadlines and multiple priorities. I think it's a great skill to have. So if you build that, that's good.
It's a great skill to have, and I remember growing up, my father, he thinks he's the ultimate event planner. And even though he was not in events, he was in hospitality. And he started a catering company when he was once young. And he told me growing up, close your eyes and think about what you see in the party. What do you see? Do you see flowers? Do you see food? Do you see chefs? Where is everything, and when is everybody showing up? Think about everything that is there and everything that could go wrong. Then reverse engineer it to come up with the timelines that you need everyone to show up to ensure you're giving yourself a cushion that nothing could go wrong.
That's interesting. Did he influence kind of your path of being an event planner?
A little bit. I always knew I wanted to be in hospitality. He influenced that I wanted to be in hospitality, and I was very young, and I got into planning charity events for the Breast Cancer Society, Red Cross, and I kind of just had so much fun doing it, and I thought it was just a fun hobby to do for a long time. And then, I wanted to own a hotel. That was the dream, the ultimate dream. That was what I wanted to do. And then eventually I was working in a hotel, and I had a friend that kind of was an event coordinator. She got hired, and she didn't really know a lot about event planning at the time. She still works there, and she's the sales manager now. But I remember she couldn't find the centerpieces for this particular event, and she was kind of like, "Oh God, what do we do?" And I was the
frantic. See,
she was a little frantic.
There you go.
I love her Amber here. Hi. Anyway. And I remember being like, calm down, it's gonna be fine. We're just gonna go to the Dollarama, we're gonna go to the flower store, we're gonna make some centerpieces. And then it just clicked to me that I was like, I'm meant to do this. And then I went to school for it. But I do remember my dad saying, can you get paid for that? And is that a real job? Because I don't want you to be unemployed when you get out of school. And I sure enough was not.
So that actually was for the moment where you said, I can do this, I want to do this.
Yes, that was the moment. So
That's
shout out.
aha moment.
Yeah, so shout out to Amber for helping me do that.
Amber helping Amber. Okay, that's nice.
Actually, Amber squared. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it's important for us to know when is the right time. Like when you know, and I think that's great that you found that. That's so good. And it's been going well for you too, which is great. So I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Again, here with Amber Walker, we're talking about different engagement proposals to powerful events. So today's Valentine's Day, so we're talking engagement proposals, which she helps organize, but she also helps organize powerful corporate events. So we're kind of getting your insights. If you have questions, you can certainly ask. If you have questions beyond this broadcast, because a whole bunch of people are not listening to us right now, if you do have questions afterwards, you can always ask them below and just tag her or me, and we can answer these questions. Because again, we're trying to get people information on this topic. And again, Power Connection Channel, we're broadcasting on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8:45 a.m. And I'm not sure any other questions I might have. I think the one question I want to ask is, what are the easiest events to plan, and what are the more challenging ones to plan?
It's a great question.
Great question.
I would say proposals are a lot easier for me because they require less logistics for me.
Right. It's not like there's hundreds of people going to be there.
Exactly.
Guests, right?
It's two people.
It's just 2 people.
And I luckily have a lot of vendors that I partner with. So it's, luckily I have a lot of people I can reach out to for different proposals. So I would say that they're definitely the easiest. I would say they're easy, but they're easiest.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then what are the more challenging ones?
Probably corporate meetings are pretty challenging.
Meetings.
Corporate meetings, that could be similar to a conference.
It's kind of like an offsite. So
yeah, like an offsite.
We're going to take everybody to this big offsite. Team type thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
That or, conference and trade shows, because there's a lot of factors to consider.
Yeah.
Usually there's a full agenda throughout the day, so you have to manage all the speakers, ensure they know what they're doing. Right. Managing nothing goes wrong with the AV, and knock on wood. Sometimes they do, but I have a great AV guy, so whatever like that. But, and then sometimes there's also exhibition between that. So they break for lunch, and then you have to make sure all the exhibitors are taken care of. You have to manage their booths and their, rentals and all those different things. So those are probably the hardest and require the most attention to detail.
Okay, now I'm a professional speaker, and so I work with a lot of event planners. So if I'm the speaker you're bringing into your complicated, difficult event, what would make me be a good person to work with?
Oh, good. That's
and then a bad person. So let's say Bobby's a bad speaker. He's making your life a living hell. Or he's just a dream speaker.
A dream speaker. Okay, so what makes you a dream speaker?
What is a dream speaker?
A dream speaker. Well, usually an event planner would send out a package, what they need from you, your headshot, your bio, your presentation in the certain requirements that they ask you for it. Because when you send it in a way that they didn't ask for it, there's a good chance it could be cut off.
Right.
If the video doesn't work, and I'm sure you've experienced this 1 or 2 times in your life, and that makes us a little bit stressed out.
Right.
And so, or sometimes we're chasing you to try and be like, wait,
yeah,
your video doesn't work. So doing it, in what they say, and getting them that headshot and bio promptly.
Timeliness, following directions. Okay. Anything else I can be the best speaker I can be for your event?
I mean, just your bubbly, outgoing self.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And then is there anything I would do that would be like, you're not really helping Bobby get like the event? Like what would make me what would be bad Bobby? Bad Bobby speaker.
Bad Bobby speaker.
Yeah. I mean, not possible. No, I've seriously, I've made a lot of doozy mistakes in my time, so it's fine. But what would I do that would make it difficult for event planners?
I mean, last minute requests, like whatever.
I need a room with pink jelly beans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot my clicker. Like, okay, like, Amber, can you run to Staples and get the clicker? Okay, no problem, Bobby. You know, and in my head, I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out how to get someone to get a clicker for that. So it's like just being extra prepared, making sure you have everything you need to deliver your best presentation.
And I can tell you, as someone who's also planned events and brings speakers in, my biggest issue with speakers are diva speakers, right? So it's a huge problem. They think they own the place. They think, I should be the one doing the keynote, Bob, because I'm the best speaker here. It's like, you're not even in the top 20. Like, why do you even think this way? But I have people who think that, and it's like, no, I don't. And whenever I work with diva speakers, they take way more time and energy than they should be allotted.
Yeah.
Because I'm working with 10 speakers, and everyone should get people my time. But this one person taking up half my time, and I don't need that. So I think that's a big challenge.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
And how can you keep diva speakers in check?
I wish there would be a good answer for that, but as an event planner, I kind of just handle everybody the same, and I am sweet and nice, and and I'm used to dealing with people like that, and it's kind of hard to be mean to my face, so I don't really have that problem. I remember, I plan trade shows, and I plan trade shows for like big corporate CEOs, and people will be like, he's such a, I'm not gonna say it on here, but he's such a special human being. Anyway, but I'm like, really? He's nice to me. And I find the best medicine is being so sweet, so nice to people that they're like, how can I not be nice to that person?
Right.
How can I not be accommodating? It's killing them with kindness in an exuberant way, and they're like, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Just be so nice. And again, today is a day of love, Valentine's Day. So the theme, the message is like just be love, all about love, walk with love.
We're all about love.
I like that. Okay, cool. Well, in terms of the topic again, it's Valentine's Day. So if you have plans for Valentine's Day or you're doing something, let us know. Comment below. Let us know what you're thinking. Olivia Walker said, great topic. I'm glad that we were able to do this topic today. And again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to her. If we don't have any more questions, I think we'll probably end the broadcast at this point. But again, you can always let us know if you have any questions, or you can tag us. A few things in terms of just housekeeping. I'm going to start doing more interviews for the Power Connection broadcast. So I've already booked 5 or 6 people in the next few weeks on either Mondays, Wednesdays, or Friday mornings. Looking forward to sharing some of those with you. You can always join us at that time, and at the same time, you can also check out the stuff that I'm doing. Look at the websites on the feed here, or on the post itself. I'm running an event actually on February 26th for the Toronto Legion local meetup on diversity, inclusion, and senior ranks. It's already looking really exciting, and it's already filling up, which is great. I'm very excited to see that. We have some really great speakers. We have the national inclusion director from Deloitte. We have the Chief Inclusion Officer from KPMG Canada. We have a Senior Diversity Inclusion Manager from Walmart. It's going to be really a fabulous event. We're going to share their insights on that. And I know I'm very excited about that. And we'll talk more about events. We're doing 4 Legit Locals this year, and then we're doing a big conference again. It's been years.
Do you IPB?
We're partnering with another company to do a large school event in the fall, but details will be announced very soon. Very excited about that. So tell people where people can reach out to you and find you across social media, and they want to work with you, things like that.
Yeah, so you can follow me at Amber Walker Events on Instagram. You can contact me on my website at amberwalkerevents.com. You can give me a call if you're interested in an event. I have a US and a Canadian number, so for all of you that are outside of Canada. And you can contact me here on LinkedIn. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
And now that you've doing really well in both the U.S. and Canada, is there another kind of place in the world that you want to maybe set up an office? That'd be kind of cool. Like Italy or something. I don't know.
Well, I think Canada and U.S. are the 2 natural markets.
Sure, of course.
However, I will do events anywhere worldwide.
See, I would pick something exotic like Hawaii. I have a Hawaii office for my Hawaiian events and for my Australian. Maybe versus the Antarctica office.
True. I mean, yeah. If it was between Antarctica and Hawaii, for sure. However, I would do a Hawaii event
Sure.
If anybody are in Hawaii.
Or Antarctica event.
I mean, whatever you'd like.
You want a yurt in Antarctica? We will make it happen.
Absolutely. I'm all
That's
over
great.
it.
All right. Well, listen, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Power Connection chat. Thank you, Amber, for giving your time.
Thank
Really
you for having us.
appreciate it. Looks there's still a lot of people online.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, no, it's good. It's good. People are broadcasting. It's great. But thanks, everybody, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Thanks,
All right?
everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.